choppy. Keep my ear to the streets, 10 steps ahead when it's choppy. Negative energy can't think, separate when it get rocky. I'm just keeping it 100, it's far from me being cocky. They ain't used to seeing you rise, now they say you moving different. When your comfort compromise, being broke is not my vision. The closest ones will do you dirty, I could paint a vivid picture. You distorting my peripheral, might as well just keep it distance. They ain't used to seeing you rise, now they say you moving different. When your comfort compromise, being broke is not my vision. The closest ones will do you dirty, I could paint a vivid picture. You distorting my peripheral, might as well just keep it distance. This ain't one of those isolated situations.
Synario.
Universal, you know. You know better, you do better. What's up, YouTube world? You're now tuned in to Synario The Illustrator, and I'm back again with another video. And the topic I'll be touching on today is, if you're not planning, then you're planning to fail. Well, what do you mean by that, Synario? Let's dive off into it. So, if you're not planning, one, if you don't have goals, this is not the video for you. Judging by how this world is set up nowadays and the type of time people is on, I feel like everybody should be having a plan and should be working towards one. The luxury of just lingering, that's out for me. Like I said, this may not be for everybody. It'll go over a lot of people's heads. But what I mean is, if you not out here with a plan and goals, a 1 month goal, a 6 month goal, a 3-year goal, and you're not working towards it, how I feel, you being left wide open for anything to happen. You know, I'm not knocking the people who, at the end of the day, who do the car washes for a deceased loved one. You know, I've been seeing these types of people throw car washes on the corner for a deceased loved one for a very long time. And that kind of like stuck out in my head, and I was like, they didn't have no insurance, they didn't have no money set to the side, anything. I know things happen unexpectedly and it falls in your lap. But what I recognize and what I realize is that even if something was to happen out of nowhere, when you working towards a plan, and you move different from the people who randomly make random decisions and move randomly throughout their life. It could, when you got a plan, it puts a buffer between you and the BS, the bull. And I'm not saying it fixes all the problems, but for sure, it sharpens your mind up where you have options. When you plan, you plan to have options on the table instead of you just accepting it and settling. When you're not planning, then you're planning to fail. I have a plan for this YouTube channel. And in order for that plan to fall through, I have to keep documenting, I have to keep making videos. I have to stay in y'all face. I gotta make it happen. I gotta practice what I preach. Consistency. When you don't have a plan, a lot of people don't realize you kind of low-key, a little bit more vulnerable out here. Because you know you settle, you accept it. This is just for me at the age where I'm at, what I realized
is something that understands what's really going on. When you understand what's going on, I watch the news. I pay attention to the tragedies. I'm paying attention to the wars and what's happening overseas. I'm paying attention to what's coming out of Trump's mouth. I'm paying attention to the neighbor that's tripping and letting off shots when he get into it with his girl. I'm paying attention to, when you go to the liquor store and it's you run into some niggas or somebody that's maybe going through something and they want to share. Misery loves company. I'm paying attention. When you planning, when you planning, that means you have something to lose. When you planning, you have something to lose, and you know how to move. When you plan, you get a little bit more structure upstairs. When you plan though, you got to look at the situation from a perspective where if you want more, you know better, you do better. Period. You got to lock in. You got to stay on top of your A game at all times, especially when you get up there in age. A lot of people, they up there in age, and I came in contact with a lot of them, and they they didn't have a plan. Then life hit you. Life hit them, boom, like they devastated. All it takes is for that one check to not come through, and the rent not getting paid, or the car note not getting paid. I understand how people can push themselves and adapt to that type of lifestyle. I'm the type of person, I gotta have multiple incomes coming in. Multiple. Not settling just for one source of income. There's something about that that's just uncomfortable for me. I done seen and experienced too much to know it's like, you know what? I'll be damned if I go through this again. I'll be damned if I go through this headache. What I gotta do? What I gotta do to raise the bar? Anything I gotta do to take care of my business, to put me in a more comfortable state of mind. Not saying I'm gonna accept it, because there's always room for improvement. But I'm gonna keep pushing forward though. I'm a planner. It's nothing to sit down and get you a tablet, get you a pen, and start writing down writing your goals down on a piece of paper, and begin to tackle it immediately. Go after your plan immediately. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing for you to just chase, write it down, come up with a game plan, and every day just stay on it until each one of those goals on that list is checked off. Until each one of those goals on that list is checked off. It ain't nothing. It ain't that hard. You just gotta put a little effort. You gotta put some time in. Look at your resources. Look at your finances. And stay down. And when you planning too, you may have to do it by yourself. You may have to pull it off by yourself in the beginning. The world doesn't revolve around us. It's who's willing to put the effort. It's not for the weak, that's for sure. But if you know what you want, you're gonna make sure that plan you're gonna act out that plan. Because if you're not planning, then you're planning to fail. Anything can happen. Anything out here can happen at any given moment. any given moment. And you want as much resources to obtain as possible. We seen what happened with COVID. A lot of people didn't expect that to happen. A lot of people who wasn't on their P's and Q's, what happened when they shut everything down? What happened when they shut everything down when COVID hit? Everybody had to start thinking about having a plan, right? I'm like, oh shit. Man, when they start shutting down the restaurants, they start shutting down the facilities, they start shutting down these businesses. Then people's pockets was hurting. And this is one thing that kind of like gets me in a situation where it gets me thinking, like, if you know for a fact that something as recent as COVID is capable of doing that to society, isn't that somewhat a wake-up call? Isn't that somewhat of raising awareness? Isn't that somewhat of something to put a battery in your back to be like, oh, let me, so just in case something like this ever happened again, let me have something going. Let me get to it. Let me have a just in case. So I won't be suffering. Because when COVID hit, I done witnessed a lot of people suffer. And to a degree, I suffered. I got some money taken out my pocket. But it didn't deter me. It put me in a situation where I was like, you know what? What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get into something that I'm good at, and I'm gonna work around it. And in order for me to work around it, I'm gonna plan to work around it. I'm gonna put a play together. And I'm gonna plan what I'm about to pursue. But this was just something that was on my mind. You know, ain't too many people that you can break this type of information down, because at the end of the day, when you have these types of conversations with people, you gotta start acting on a lot of these type of topics. You gotta act on it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta act on it. You gotta really get out here 10 toes down and start operating and moving in a direction. Keep it 100 with you. I'm just saying. You know, but hey, you know, if you run into this video, you're gonna catch on to what I'm talking about, and if you don't, you know, just keep it pushing. You know, this is for my tribe. This is for the ones that get it and understand where I'm coming from. But this is your boy, Synario The Illustrator. Put in the comments below certain topics to talk about to keep this motion going. I'm gonna tackle it to the best of my ability. And in the meantime, stay blessed, stay 10 toes down, keep your head on a swivel at all times. Peace.